Tell me it's got to get better. 2023 is going to be a better year for SMH and semi investors.
Yeah, at least the advantage now is that I think most investors are anticipating a downturn for 2023. They're expecting revenues year over year to decline. And so now it's a question of degree and magnitude and timing, and like when is the trough? The reason the semi stocks have been weak, especially in the second half of this year, is they're anticipatory. So the stocks tend to react before the actual numbers tend to reset. And it turns out the best time to buy the stocks, if you can time it perfectly, is about 3 months before the estimates bottom. And so that'll be the thing. Like if the estimates bottom early in the year, that may give the stocks time to run if we can get that recovery. But that's going to be the question now. Not is there a downturn coming, but what's the magnitude, what's the degree, what's the timing, and when have the estimates bottom to the sense that the investors can feel comfortable buying the stocks.
But we're not talking about a declining industry, right? We're just talking about declining growth rates. Those are very different things.
Well, you need to separate out short-term and long-term. In any given year, the industry can certainly decline. It is a cyclical industry. It has up years and down years. However, through the cycle, the industry should grow. And, everybody's been throwing out this like $1 trillion number in 10 years or whatever. It doesn't take a lot. Like mid-single digit growth over the cycle will get you to $1 trillion in 10 years, plus or minus. Maybe it's 8, maybe it's 12, like whatever. We'll get there. That doesn't mean you can't have downturns along the way. Like 5% growth over the cycle could be up 20% one year and down 15 the next. Like it happens like that.
Yeah, a longer term. I mean, I would, maybe I'm just making this up, but it would seem like logically, given the growth of the world and technology, in 5 years, we're going to be using more semiconductors of all kinds than we are today, correct? I mean, is that a fair statement? I feel pretty confident saying that, Stacy.
I'm actually pretty positive on semiconductors over the long term. I think it's absolutely true. Like their penetration into everyday life is just going up and up and up, and there's more and more devices that are using them, and the devices that are using them, the amount that they're using is going up, and content is increasing. I think all of that is true. Right? You've got tons of new applications, whether it's artificial intelligence or it's 5G or it's IoT or whatever you want to think about. Those applications are there.
Yeah.
And over that time frame, over the long term, I have no problem believing that this is a great. I love this industry, right?
And what stocks? You love the industry. There's stocks you love. We want to make some money. So
let's again. You need to still be cognizant of those nearer term threats. So, like I said, you can love the industry and still have downturns. They do happen. If we are going into a downturn next year, the things that we would prefer at this point are stocks that have already cut, number one, and ideally cut a lot, because again, investors want to be more confident that the bottom is closer to being in. I'd want stocks that cut. I want stocks that have both cut and have a secular story that I think can play out among those long-term trends, and where the valuations get to the point where these things are really attractive. In my coverage, those would be names like an AMD or Qualcomm, maybe even an NVIDIA, not as much on the valuation side, but on the other two. Those are some of the characteristics of things that I would be looking for in semis, given where we're sitting right now.
Well